Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Allison Clarke and I am a senior portrait and wedding photographer based out of Southern New Hampshire. And I am also an educator for those who are just starting their own photography businesses and want to learn a little bit more on how to boost their biz and take better pictures. Since Christmas just happened, and I'm sure a lot of you got new cameras for Christmas, I thought it would be a good idea to kind of throw it back for the next 4 weeks and talk about camera basics. A common misconception is that a nice camera leads to nice pictures, but the fact of the matter is that you need to know how to control your camera if you want to get those nice pictures. Your photos will come out so much better if you learn how to click your camera into manual instead of auto and control these 4 things to make your photos come out exactly the way that you want them to. The component that we're going to focus on this week is shutter speed. To put it simply, shutter speed determines exactly how fast the shutter in your camera opens and then closes again. You may want to control this component of your camera for a couple of reasons, such as how much light you want to let into your photos, or how much motion you want to capture in a subject. For example, if you wanted to capture somebody jumping or dancing or moving around in any way, you would want to set your shutter speed so that it's really high in order to capture that motion and so that you don't get any motion blur. Or if you're a landscape photographer and you're photographing a river and you want that water to look silky smooth, you might want to set your shutter speed really low in order to capture that motion. It's important to remember though that shutter speed also determines how much light is being let into your camera. For example, if you have a low shutter speed, meaning that your shutter is open for a long period of time, more light will be let in to hit the sensor. But if you have a high shutter speed, your shutter is only open for a short period of time, meaning that not a lot of light will be able to enter your sensor during that short period. So, let's say you're in a dark room and you need to have more light hit your sensor, you would want to turn your shutter speed down in order to let that light in. Or if it's really sunny and bright outside, you might want to crank that shutter speed up so that your photos aren't blown out or overexposed. I always have my camera at least 1/200th of a second so that if my hands ever shake while I'm holding my camera, I won't receive any motion blur in my photos. Being an outdoor natural light photographer, my shutter speed is actually typically above 1/800th of a second because it usually is sunny and bright while I'm shooting. There are times though that you might run into sticky situations. Let's say you're in a dimly lit room and you're photographing somebody moving. Part of you might think, well, it's pretty dark in here, so I need to have my shutter speed low so that more light can hit my sensor. But the other part of you might think, well, I'm photographing somebody moving and I want to freeze them in time, so I need to have my shutter speed high. And that's where the other 3 components come in. Hit that subscribe button if you want to be here next week when I release my next video about aperture, and definitely hit that like button if this video is helpful for you, and leave a comment below if there's anything that you'd like me to talk about in future videos. Make sure to follow me on Instagram too to see more behind the scenes of my shoots and to get little tips and tricks here and there. I hope you have a lovely weekend, and I will see you again next Friday.